What's good with the YouTube? A convict's perspective, as always, Big Flacco, smashing, dashing, sliding on through with a little bit of what? Energy. Let's get it cracking. With my co-host, Big Senor Rojo. Who we sponsored by today? All right, let's get straight to it, man. We're going to be talking about a red-on-red situation to where Norteno got killed out there in Yakima, Washington. This story was all over the news, man. We're going to talk about the violations, breach of law, how this came about, the changes that were going on in Washington, man. But first, before we do that and give a convict's perspective, we're going to let Rojo get straight to it with this article.
All right, YouTube, man. This is from the YakimaHerald.com online. The title, gang member sentenced to 24 years for Yakima County Jail beating death. They beat him to death, them things. And them feet. This is by Donald Myers, and this was from March 23rd of this year, and it was updated on September 25th of this year. All right, here we go. Calling it a case of vigilante justice, Yakima County Superior Court Judge Richard Bartheld sentenced a gang member Tuesday to 24 years in prison for a brutal 2018 jailhouse killing. In sentencing, Julian Luis Gonzalez, Bartheld ignored recommendations from prosecutors as well as Gonzalez's attorney for a 22-year sentence, which included 2 years to resolve his pending first-degree assault and drive-by shooting case. Gonzalez entered an Alford plea last week to first-degree murder in the December 10th, 2018 death of Jacob Ozuna, a plea that allows him to maintain his innocence while acknowledging that prosecutors had enough evidence to convince the jury to find him guilty. In return for the plea, an aggravated first-degree murder charge, which carried a mandatory life without parole sentence, was dropped. But Bartheld rejected a recommendation for a 20-year sentence, noting that the brutality of Ozuna's death warranted a stiffer sentence. He gave the attorneys a week to work it out, but said the latest offer was still not enough. When I first indicated the facts of this case were horrendous, that was an understatement, Bartheld said. The brutality of the attack indicates the intent of the defendants. Bartheld quoted a Yakima County Sheriff's probable cause affidavit describing security camera footage of the 13-minute attack in the Yakima County Jail.
Ooh.
The attack began when Gonzalez, as well as 2 other inmates, Felipe Luis Jr. and Derek Alexander Donato, attacked Ozuna on the upper tier of their housing unit December 9th, 2018. Ozuna was beaten and kicked until he was unconscious, dragged down the stairs by his legs as his head struck each step, and was again stomped and punched when his arm moved. He died at a local hospital hours later on December 10th of 18. An autopsy determined that Ozuna had bleeding in his brain, 3 broken ribs, kidney damage, and numerous other injuries. In arguing for a lighter sentence, defense attorney Mickey Crom said the injuries did not suggest that Gonzalez was trying to kill Ozuna. He said it was more likely a case of manslaughter. He said Gonzalez also showed remorse by asking about Ozuna's condition after he was taken to the hospital, as well as not withdrawing his plea after Bartheld rejected the earlier sentencing recommendation. He also pointed out that the prosecution's theory that Ozuna was killed in retaliation for allegedly killing another Norteno gang member in Topenash, whatever it is, earlier that year, underscored the tragedy of the case, which he said included Gonzalez's youth and struggles with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, as well as post-traumatic stress disorder. Bartheld said the evidence suggested the killing was deliberate and likely based on gang-based vigilante justice, with individuals punishing their own for violation of their particular group's rules. In this instance, these three individuals decided to take the law into their own hands and take care of the situation, Barthel said. We saw an example of this on January 6th at our nation's capital, where a bunch of vigilantes decided to take the situation into their own hands, and people died because of that. They're referencing when them guys took over the Capitol and they blamed a certain individual for whatever they went and did. Very interesting how this judge uses that as an example of this particular crime. It seems kind of weird.
Yeah.
By killing Ozuna, the three denied the court the chance to administer justice in the killing of Dario Alvarado, whom Ozuna was accused of killing. Ozuna's sister, Julia Ann Silva, urged Barthel to provide the family with justice. Everybody wants plea deals. Everybody wants a second chance, Silva said. Nobody gave my brother a second chance. Barthel also advised Gonzalez to abandon the gang lifestyle as quickly as possible, warning him that as a gang member, he would be expected to commit violence on behalf of the gang leaders in prison, as well as become a target for violence if he were to decide to leave the gang life later. Excuse me 1 second. He also suggested Gonzalez take advantage of prison programs that provide education and job training. You have an opportunity to better yourself, Barthel said. Gonzalez's co-defendants are expected to go on trial next month.
So here's a little updated information. I think one of those persons went to trial and was found guilty of manslaughter and received 12 years. I think the other case is being resolved today. The jury are in deliberations. I'm not so sure, but it's been an interesting case, man. And you know, I'm gonna go through a little bit brief case factors. Like I told Rojo, I know a little bit more about this than some people, right? So this is the back information I have. Okay, as we already know, Skip hit the system in 2004. Right, he hit Sheridan, Oregon, right, to where there was this Norteno big dogs with a little dog on them. It was like a prison organization that were Norteños from Washington. Okay, Skip basically put them in line. A lot of those dudes that were part of their pillars, which was part of their structure, got deemed no good or were to fall off point blank. All the rest of these dudes that fell under the Norteno big dogs fell under the NF federal faction. Everything changed. The NBD was deleted. There was no longer recognized. So therefore, Washington has pretty much been under Skip's direction. You know what I'm saying? Under his jurisdiction, his authority. And the directives that he had been sending out there was to remove anybody that was representing the Norteno big dogs, as well as to start cleaning house and enforcing the Norteno regulations, the rules and policies. So this right here was a classic example of a red on red, where the individual that they attacked had committed a red on red crime, which was he murdered the Norteno. We already know from now, as far as post 2000, you murder a Norteno on the streets, your career is a wreck. Unless your life was threatened and you were only acting in self-defense, is the only chance that you have of clearing that issue. Was this individual awarded due process by the Norteños? I don't know. That's not for us to speak. Okay, so allegedly these three dudes did a removal. And you know, I'm gonna sit there and say this: 13 minutes is a pretty long time to beat someone down.
That's an eon of time, bro.
That's a lot of time, man.
Most people are going to die from that length of a beating, you know?
Okay, Rojo can kind of confirm and corroborate this, right? As far as Norteños being removed back in the days, like in our time era, 90s and 2000s, when you deem someone no good, whether it's for red on red crime like this or whatever type of breach in law violation, unless they're like a high priority target, you know what I mean? Like an NF dropout, someone that may have did this and did that, disrespected the C or something like that. The main objective is just to remove that dude because he cannot function within your household. It's not necessary to kill the individual. You know what I'm saying? Especially in this situation, they used hands. They didn't even use a piece to run across the cheek. So I'm just wondering if I don't know that they can prove that this was maliciously done and premeditated to kill this dude. I don't believe so. I think they got in front of the wrong judge who has a one-side mind. If you heard the story, right? Because the jury didn't even find him guilty. Because in the removal, if they wanted to literally kill this dude, they would have used pieces. I believe that the whole objective was to get this dude removed from their household. And this is the thing, the reality. When you go over there and put hands on someone, right? I mean, we've all been in fist fights. We've been jumped. We've been stomped out. We've all had that. A lot of times we come out of it alive. You know what I'm saying? Or I wouldn't be here right now. But there's those rare occasions, right, where someone may have some type of medical condition, or maybe you even take it a little too far, wrong kick, you know what I mean, to the head. Anything can happen. You don't know the circumstances. Next thing you know that they're dead. And this is what I see with this case. I don't really think that these dudes maliciously intended to kill this dude. I think that they were given directives to remove him because of the charge. You know what I'm saying? They took their action and this dude died.
Hey, you know, if they would have stopped after, you know, the initial, you know, before they dragged him down the stairs, probably be a different story. We don't know which one was the fatal blow, which caused the bleeding on the brain. We don't know. But man, I'm with you in the fact that why risk other good homies on the objective to totally remove this person from life? You know what I mean? That, like you said, that would just be a beatdown, a good one. You know what I mean? But I don't think that they're going to send. I don't think they're going to do that, bro. I think they just got a little carried away. They seen him moving. They're like, oh, he's not knocked out yet. Let's make sure he's knocked out. Set an example.
I mean, okay, look. After you left, bro, times had changed with removals. We got mandates that we were no longer supposed to remove people with RBs. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, really?
No more tomahawks. Yeah. That because there were so many removals that were unjustly being done, physical and tomahawks, and that a lot of Northerners and soldados that didn't have the proper educational attainments were making decisions. They wanted anybody that was deemed no good to get hit with a piece. You know what I mean? To make an example. Therefore, it awarded individuals a line of due process that unless they did something that was really clearly unsalvageable, they would get cleared. So therefore, you would have less removals. Because before, let's keep it real. In the 90s and 2000, a lot of people were getting hit for things that they didn't expect to get hit for. There was no due process at that time. There was no proper investigation. Now, the way the system is operating, Ryan, is you have to do a complete R&I with a full investigational packet. You know, the same way they give you the 115s with the exhibits, you have to do the same thing in filing your reports before you deem anybody no good. And then you have to process that to a higher authority. If there's no NF member, then that has to go to a higher authority. Even as an NF member, you got to report all that nowadays. So you would have everything like a 115, you'd have everything. This is a list of the charges. And then affording due process, you would have a whole full report from this individual. What they said, they're afforded that due process rights. And then you would have any type of other investigational. You'd appoint maybe a maestro, or if another sees there, you'd have that see do it. Whoever you have running the investigation, they conduct the R&I, and they start to give the questionnaires and have the soldat answer the questions. You don't want no assumptions. You don't want what you think happened. You want all 5W answers: who, what, where, when, why. Therefore, after you have all the information, you can make what you would call a fair and just decision in accordance to the law, and then submit that report to a higher authority or whatnot, just to be recognized. So therefore, that's been able to eliminate wrong removals that used to be so common in the late 90s, early 90s, where you would have NR members that would be on the main line and would just not award any individual's due process.
Trigger happy.
So even this guy being in on a red on red, you know, that they came in for that case, I'm just wondering if Washington's politics, right? Yeah, we know they're in line. They're under the feds. There's a lot of good innocent dollars that are coming out from there that are being schooled. But did they go through the proper course of proper R&I investigating this situation? Because just because this dude was in there for whacking another Norteno, we don't know if maybe this dude abused his sister. We don't know if he tried to attack him. There's certain things, man. Okay, it's like this. If I was out there and you did anything to one of my family members and you were a Norteno, I'm not going to even ask clearance. I'm going to go deal with it, and I'll write my report, and I'll stand by it. And I know a lot of other individuals will do the same thing, and they've been cleared for taking action against ends without going to the proper authority because it was a personal matter. It had to do with their family. You can't always hide behind red on red. So we don't know what happened in that situation either. I'm not saying that's the case or whatnot, but sometimes these ends in other counties, they're trying to fall in line with the procedures of what California has dictated, which now a lot of those dudes are now in the feds. Was this situation warranted in how they carried this out? I don't believe anybody deserves, well, except for those ones with those heinous crimes against children, I don't think anything really warrants that type of attack. If you want the dude to be removed from your household, you just get rid of him. You smash on him. You know what I mean? If you have to use a tomahawk, that was the whole purpose for the tomahawk when you did a removal was you're not trying to whack the dude. You're trying to give him the puto mark. Let it be recognized by staff that this dude can't be programmed with us. He gets a beat down at the same time. Now he knows he's not welcomed. Because sometimes these individuals, okay, let's just keep it 100, bro. I don't think there's not many individuals that are going to be warranted to be killed. What do you get out of killing someone just because he did a red on red crime? What do you get out of killing someone just because he doesn't want a program?
You lose some soldados. And
you know what I'm saying? Now you're giving these gente a life sentence because all this dude did was, you know what I mean, let him, you know what I mean, get rid of him. Just remove him. That's the way I used to think, man. So nowadays, man, with all the stuff that's also going on in the California State Prison where they're whacking their cellies, man, you know what I mean, in the cell over a lot of like petty issues, man. What did you hear? Over a cell phone being missing? You know what I mean? Over not wanting to contribute your money that you're making off your dope that your family brought in for you. There's all kinds of stuff like that, man. Like I think Baby Joker said it in the interview with a boxer. He said, when have we ever started to kill regular Norteños? That was never the case back in the day. You know what I mean? The NF would do what the NF had to do on their targets, which was if you were expelled from the organization, you were to get whacked, taken out. You know what I mean? But regular Northerners, Norteños, unless there was a reason that made them a high priority target, the whole purpose was just to remove them so they couldn't function with the household. And because we're not going to go up to you and say, hey, bro, you got to roll it up. You can't be here. We're just going to deal with you and let administration deal with you. Let you make the decision. Either you want to come back and we're going to give you the business again, or you're going to roll it up on your own.
Hey, when I came back out of Quentin, you know, while I was a bro, you know, before I got pulled as a C, they were either letting people slide in my county jail and just doing, you know, a whole lot of exercises, a whole lot of writing for infractions, or they were trying to go all the way. You know what I mean? Like trying to stomp them, just like this situation. I went in there, man, and I was just like, bro, unless it's approved by higher powers than us, just get them out of here, bro. Yeah, you know, knock them the hell out. After they're knocked out, man, you don't need to dance on them unless it's a high, like you said, a high priority target. You know, you don't gotta jump off tables on their face. You know, it's get them out of there. They can't program no more. The damn deputies ain't stupid. They'll get them the hell out of there. But very, very rarely is it really necessary. I mean, 1 in a million is it necessary to go all the way like this. This is like for child predators, you know, not to single out Lizard, but people like that, you know, that just went way, way, way above and beyond. You know, no disrespect to him, whatever. You know, that's what's happened, what happened. But dude, all you're doing is drawing attention, losing manpower, getting messed with more when you could have just, man,
I'm telling you, hey, Ro, you know what though? This is what one thing that no one's probably even thinking that as we're doing this video, and me, as yourself, who been individuals that have been in authority positions before, right?
Yeah.
Who made this call? You know what I'm saying? Like right there, whoever made this call and the way it was carried out, I would be holding them accountable because that's basically a Bond 7 violation. You just jeopardized and endangered the life of 3 fucking ends. You know what I'm saying? By the actions of how you're not giving them proper directions and how to deal with this. Unless they told him, hey, stomp him out till he's dead. You know what I mean?
Probably not. I don't see that.
Not, bro. You know what I'm saying? I doubt it. The whole purpose, I mean, then again, you're sending some youngsters that are 19, 20 years old, man. I mean, you know, I mean, they're full of it. They're ready to go put in that work. They're not thinking, bro. So you got to properly, before you give them the directives to do this removal, you got to properly school them. This is the whole objective. This is why we're doing it. This is what you need to do. You know, because if you don't, and a situation like this happens, I wouldn't be surprised if you had some proper leadership there. If you actually had a C that was there, the dude that made this call and how it was carried out, unless that was what was directed to, hey, stomp this dude out till he dies, I would hold the dude that made that call accountable. I would immediately be putting him on freeze and under investigation because right there, you just endangered 3 individuals by having them carry out this act. Yeah. Why didn't you proper school them? Why didn't you tell them what they needed to do? Why didn't you give them the objective of what the whole purpose is to remove this dude? So now you got 3 individuals that one got 24 years, One got 12. And the last one, he's already doing a life sentence for a whole nother murder. And I think he gets sentenced maybe next week. I think maybe they're in deliberations right now for his trial, right? But yeah, this case, man, it kind of, like I said, it upsets me anytime. Not saying that the person who was whacked was any saint, because he was in there for killing someone too. You know, but let the, yeah.
You know what I would look at with this? Like, if I'm there, it would have automatically been my responsibility. What I would look at first, the individual's history. Does he know better? Has he been educated that you can't do that? You know what I mean? That's one thing I'll look at. If he's messed up before, you know what I mean? If he knew better and he's been a problem before, all this and that. At the end of the day, I don't see a benefit in taking him all the way out, bro. I just don't see how you can set a beautiful example. Before he got pulled down the stairs, an example was set. You know, I mean, I just don't see that being the necessary answer to it.
Yeah, you would have to investigate his actions too.
Maybe it was investigated. Who knows? Maybe, you know what I mean? It's just a bad apple, but I still don't see that call being made. I just don't see it. I think they just went a little overboard, bro.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, like you said, like that's what people don't realize, man. And I've said this before, man. This used to happen on low-level security prisons like Avenal, Susanville, other prisons where you didn't have any seasoned individuals, dudes that may have just got pulled in the county jail that now are holding authority position. They get a tick in their ass that they want to be that guy and want to make that call. So instead of clearing someone, right, they're more elected to having them removed because they want to be the dudes next place they go, or when they're pillow talking with a female, or when they're talking to some youngsters. You know what? I'm the dude that had that dude whacked. I'm the one that did this. They're never thinking that maybe you could potentially salvage a career. I've always been taught, and I've always made this practice, man. I've only deemed maybe about 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 people no good and had them removed. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot more individuals that I cleared. I even cleared an individual that Fred Dog from Salinas, Fernando Gonzalez, the Carnal, right, gave me jurisdiction to make a decision on this one Ensoldalo's fate. He made a call on another Northerner, had him hit, right? For the dude had a statutory case, which he had already been investigated and cleared on. This dude was pulled as an Ensoldado, but he was never schooled. We got at him, and he thought that he was making the right decision. Now, I had ample grounds to deem the dude no good. You shedded blood on an innocent Northerner. Luckily, nothing really happened to him. He had a little cut on him that looked like a razor thing. But rather than deem the dude no good, I thought about it. I said, man, we could salvage his career. He made a choice because we failed him. We didn't properly school him. So therefore, this individual barely got hit. It's not in the mark. He didn't have a scar. It was a weak little, the little thing. They just nicked him like that. It was nothing, bro. So rather than deem him no good, I said, you know what? Let's use an example for the gente, and let's clear this dude. We stripped him of his Ensoldado status. We put him on frontline. I think I must have gave him maybe about 50,000 words of essays, like 10,000 word essays. And he wasn't to hold any type of COC position till he was properly schooled. You know what I mean? So sometimes you got to think these people who are holding these positions, it's not about being a super gangster. The Norteno cause and struggle is not about the fucking NF organization or anything. It's about bettering your gente, bettering yourself. It's about having a safe haven because you made some poor choices out there in the streets. Now you're locked up in prison. So now you're here. We're here together to try to push forward a positive message for our people, not to just remove our people. And it seems like nowadays, the only examples I'm hearing is people are more, they rather talk and hear about this person got deemed no good. This person got laid it down over here. This person. I don't want to hear all that stuff, man. You know what I mean? That's not the message the gente need to push. That's why you have so much division. That's why you have all this dissension. And that's why you have so many people walking away because of BS situations like this. I'm not trying to, I'm using that not in this situations, but just in general. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to look at it that we're not perfect either. We can't just continue to play God on people's fate, because the same injustices that we talk about the judicial system is the same injustice sometimes we inflict upon our own people.
And there is today's lesson. Flacco just did it without even trying. What Flacco was saying is right, man. Who in their right mind wants to, be attracted to something, be a part of something for a simple mistake that you had no, malicious intention could cost you your life. Why be in fear every day? That's not what it's about, man. It's about betterment, building up, self-supporting, things of that nature. Not like, damn, if I make this little mistake, I'm dead. Man, that's a extreme turnoff to anything, bro. You know what I mean? And we've been real quick as a collective to be willing to set too many examples where a simple sit down, hey, this is why. OGs, me, you, boxer, people of that nature. This is why this doesn't happen. This is your one shot at redeeming yourself. Don't make me look stupid. This is how I expect you to do this. This is how we expect you to do this. Turn it into an educational process, man. You lose a lot of good people, and a lot of potentially good people are just like, man, fuck that. Then you see what happened to that? They killed 4 dudes last month. Man, they don't want to. Man, who wants to do that? I don't.
Man, hey, bro, it's all about everybody's over there policing their own gente, and they're telling on their own gente. Everybody's like looking for a reason to cause problems, man. Like I used to get that all the time, bro. Like as soon as I would leave a facility, bro, I would have the authority over here. I would leave, and then someone else would try to get in someone else's ears about the things that they didn't like or what I did. And then little did these people know, everything got back to me, and everything that I was doing was according to what I was told by a higher authority. Right. You know what I mean? So sometimes people are just looking for issues, or they don't like you, or whatever, man. And that's messed up about these situations. And I'm not saying that dude that got whacked in this situation like that, he was a good dude. He was in there for hitting someone, so he had to pay his consequences for his actions. We don't know what that situation was about, but that's his cross to carry, not ours.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
Not to toot my own horn and act like I'm just some super special dude, but you know how many lives, careers, faces, necks that I've saved in my time? A lot, bro.
Yeah, bro.
I put myself, I had the authority to do what the hell I wanted to do. And I did it by the book. But man, if I was a little bit more of like a tyrant, an asshole, I could have rained carnage on people. Where instead, I used it as an educational session.
But see, that's the thing that makes you as an individual solid, because even by the book, you can still make those decisions. There's a lot of decisions that we could have made, bro, when we were in leadership positions, that we can go either way. We could either salvage the situation, or we could deem to do no good. And if you're good and you're thinking positive and you're not trying to push gente away, you always want to be that guy that people are going to sit there and respect. You know what, man? Big Rojo, man. That dude, man, I was in trouble. These other dudes were trying to cross me up, man. He stood by me. I fucked up, but you know what? I acknowledged it. And that's the key thing, too. Anytime someone comes and they're programming in GP and mainline, right? That goes to tell me a lot of times they think they've done no wrong by their action. So, and this is a thing that I learned, you know what I mean, from a lot of good gente, right? Different strokes for different folks. And I think people are going to misinterpret what I mean by that. What I mean by that is what Rojo said in the beginning. If you have a first termer, makes a choice that he doesn't know any better, you may be more lenient on that situation. You get a dude that's been in the system for 20 years and makes that same choice, he knows better. You whack his ass. And that's how every case has to be evaluated different. In any case that's been settled, already done, you can't reopen that case. Well, technically, yeah, you can. Certainly if you're a C, you can open the case, but other people can't push. You can't hold it against them. You can't say, well, he did this before. No, that case has already been settled.
I'll tell you what, man. I never really got in trouble. The closest I was with it was damn messing around with Porky that day, which wasn't my fault. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to play. Bad timing. Man, they locked down the whole pod. 50 goon squads came running in there. That was the closest I ever came to getting in trouble. Little sleeping and shit, man, but easily, man, with the wrong person there. Even Big Boxer, bro. Big Boxer he's mean. You know what I'm saying? He was like, man, stop sleeping during the day, retard. You know what I mean? Like, he schooled me. After like the third one, bro, he could have been like, man, fuck this dude. He ain't learning. You know what I mean? Fucking get him the fuck out of here. Real easy. And even mean ass Boxer was like, man, there's something about this dude. Hey, I get in trouble all the time. I'm still a bro now. He pulled me as a fucking bro. And I was a fuck up. But he was cool, you know? And there's no reason to just be so damn bloodthirsty, bro. It draws police attention. It discourages other people from joining. It makes people fucking wonder if they're next, and they're going to start acting funny and second guessing shit. It's just a bad look most of the time. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are situations, shit happens. That's not the answer all the time, though, bro. Anyway, I'll tell you what, here's another little quick lesson from your boy Rojo. If you don't go to prison, you don't go to jail, you don't shoot people, unless you're defending yourself, you don't got to worry about this happening to you. Anyway, man, that was an interesting story Flacco brought to the table today. Red on red, it's not going to fly. It could have been you. Be careful.
Yeah.
We'll holler at you guys later on the live. Enjoy Friday. Enjoy your weekend. And just be easy.